Hello and welcome to Arcade Couch, the best place to chill with friends and get game goodness each and every Monday. My name's John Blight, and joining the couch this week, Ashley Hodley.
Hey Don, I'm excited to be here. Is this really a couch? We're really recording? I don't know what to believe anymore.
No.
Maybe there are kings. I don't know.
Fuck it up. Also here, the lying piece of shit, Ciaran Marchant.
Hello, it's me. I got him good, everyone. What a fantastic week.
Yeah. So, Ciaran, this was luckily, I guess. I mean, he would have had to wait longer if it wasn't. We recorded our Arcade Couch Between the Cushions, which we usually do every fortnight, of course. We did that. We come for a bit of a chat. Anyway, Ciaran had hidden in the background a Nintendo Switch 2 box. So, we'll get into that in 2 seconds. If you want to hear our reactions, which is just a lot of shock and laughter for several minutes straight, and I'm sure it's confusing to listen to out of context, or find the clip, which will definitely be on social media accounts, I'm sure. But yeah, anyway, Ciaran is a lying piece of shit who spent days and elaborately gaslighting me and Ash into that he was never and had no plans to buy a Nintendo Switch 2. But as we all know, deep down, and I should have never believed him, he is the FOMO little bitch he is. And picked one up 24 hours after.
Cracked after.
Yeah, cracked after no fucking pressure. Nonetheless, Ciaran, you have a Switch 2. Obviously, I've talked about it many times now between my hands-on event and then having it since launch. What is your talk us through your journey? What have you been playing? What are your impressions? What do you think of this thing so far?
I've played Mario Kart World.
Okay.
Yep.
That is the game.
That is the game. That is the game to play. I've already got Tears of the Kingdom downloaded on it, so at some point I will check out the upgraded version of that. But at the moment, yeah, just playing some Mario Kart World. It is, as you have said, as many people said, it is a Switch Pro. It's not a next generation iteration of the console. It is just, if you were to kind of only look at the UI and only look at the actual software of the console, it just looks like a Switch. There's nothing different about it. I think the console itself is much nicer now. It's lighter. I can't believe it wasn't until I had to get my old Switch to do the data transfer that I really understood the size difference between the two. Like, this thing fucking dwarfs makes the original Switch look really small, even like the OLED version. It is an obvious thing that there is no OLED on it. You can very much tell that when you are in handheld mode with it. The couple of instances I've played around, the battery does die very quickly, which seems to be just a general kind of across the board problem with the Switch. Switch 2 is just battery life. But it's good. Mario Kart World is great. I'm looking forward to actually being able to play it online now and enjoy it online. That game seems.
Whose fault's that?
Look, I was just
you from playing online.
It's just for the content, man. For the content, I did it for the content.
That's fair.
For the meme, yeah.
For the meme,
of course, Ash would appreciate that, wouldn't he?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's been solid so far. I'm looking forward to grabbing Donkey Kong when he comes out, and yeah, between that and it's it's a good little console.
Now, you have been in the lead up to this console, obviously the naysayer of the three of us.
Mm-hmm.
If Ash is fence city, and I was more on the positive side, I feel you were more on the negative side. Do you still are you still playing this thing going, oh man, if this thing had an SSD, it would be so much better? Or
the main question is, did I, now having played it and bought it and got Mario Kart World, did I need to buy this? Oh hell no. No way. No, I didn't need to, if I wasn't a single white man that has very little responsibilities in this world, blowing the money on this would have been fucking a shambolic decision, honestly. It feels nice. It runs games nice. Even just opening up the Switch store, the online store, actually feels good. The old one felt like a web page. It still could be better. It still could be much better. Yeah, I feel like what I pay for the console with the Mario Kart's like $798, $768, somewhere around there. Something around there. So you're telling, so that's like a couple $100 difference between this and a Steam Deck. I think the Steam Deck's better, like just overall.
What's the Steam Deck's close to what? 12, 13?
No.
Is it?
No, an OLED Steam Deck is, because like the base model without the OLED's like $600.
It depends on what size. $899 for 512 gig OLED.
Yeah. So when you're comparing it that kind of price point, I think the Steam Deck shits on this. If you're not, the only reason I purchase this, the only reason I will want to play this unit is because of Nintendo games.
Exclusives, yeah.
Nintendo exclusives. It's the only reason I would buy this. It's the only reason, I have been tempted this week to go grab a copy of. Actually, I'd be way more tempted to. I wanted to play Pokemon Scarlet or Violet because I was like, you know what? I hadn't played it. It apparently runs okay now. It runs good.
Probably.
It runs good.
It runs good now.
It runs good now.
And then I'm like, I went to look at how much it was, and then it was like $90. And I was like, fuck my life. Fuck you, Nintendo. Like,
no, you need to look on Facebook Marketplace for where some parent is selling it and not realizing how much it's worth.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I think it's definitely for anybody who is interested in Nintendo, who wants to be part of it, who has the money to pay for it. 100% invest. Buy the Nintendo Switch 2. I don't think it deserves the moniker of 2. Like, I don't think it could have just been a Nintendo Switch Pro, and we could have all probably been happy and settled at that, and it would have gone just as well. But yeah,
I think the only reason it's not Pro is because there are going to be games. The second you do the Pro thing, it's like, so the PlayStation 5 Pro, it's still all PlayStation 5.
Yeah, you've still got to run all the games on both of them.
Right?
Yeah, that's
fair. So if you did Nintendo Switch 2, there's going to be games that are Nintendo Switch 2 games that do not play on it. I think that
but
is
I guess the thing is for that is how often, like, same thing with PlayStation 5, right? Like, how long is it till we see games that are just for the Nintendo Switch 2?
Like, well, there it is, Mario
Kart.
Mario Kart, that's fair.
Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong. Bravely Default that I'm playing. Like, all those are Nintendo Switch 2 exclusives.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think I honestly do think that's the core, like, like from a marketing perspective, it makes it a nightmare the second if you call it a Pro and then there's all this confusion,
Yes.
I mean, you think back to when they had the Game Boy, like, titling, how many issues they would have imagined had, like,
because there was a Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Advance SP.
I can't play it on my original giant chonky Game Boy. That's crazy.
Yeah,
bullshit.
Yeah. And I mean, if you look at something like it's like if they called the Game Boy, I don't know, Game Boy Pro, but it was added color. But there was games that you could only play in.
I mean, there was a Game Boy that they added like the right analog stick, if I remember. One version of the Game Boy added that, and like, I believe so. And then like there was exclusive titles for that for something.
What else? Is there anything else you want to try out, Ciaran? Or
it's the everything that they've upgraded. So the Zeldas, the Pokemon.
So how are you grabbing Zelda? Because
I've already got Tears of the Kingdom. So when I just pay the $60 to get Nintendo Online, I'll just get the expansion pack version, and that includes that.
Yes. Okay. Yes. So I was about to say it's $20 to upgrade manually, or if you have Nintendo Online Plus, you can get both the Zelda's upgrades for free.
Yeah,
as part of that.
So that was the plan.
How you want. Yeah, cool. All right. Well, in Nintendo news, just to pair onto this, they did announce this week that Splatoon 3 is getting a patch as well. As of actually, I think it's come out. It came out last week. Sorry. So there's a patch out now for Splatoon 3. I haven't tried it yet, but that adds just ups the resolution and ups the frame rate capabilities of that game. I can see this coming for a lot of games in the future. I think just if developers choose to and stuff like that. They highlighted in the thing. It was really random. I was sitting here at like whatever late at night, and the Nintendo Today app pops up with this Splatoon video that's like 5-6 minutes long. They did this plus something. Anyway, that app's weird, but anyway, whatever. And then, not to complain, the first world problem for me. You try to take screenshots in that app, so I could put them in part of the news article. You can't take screenshots in the app. Nintendo blocks them. Anyway, so that's cool. I'm keen to. I'll re-download Splatoon 3 at some stage soon and give that a go as well. But then they also announced a new Splatoon game. So they announced out of nowhere again, Splatoon Raiders is coming later. Actually, I don't think they had to release that, but they announced Splatoon Raiders. It's going to be a new co-op based game with some sort of narrative driving it. It's going to be a Nintendo Switch 2 exclusive game. So again, another exclusive here for Splatoon for your Splat friends. And then, of course, the other really big Nintendo Switch news of the past week was that the console has now sold 3.5 million units in its first 4 days, making it the fastest selling Nintendo hardware to date. So to put that into perspective, Nintendo Switch sold around 2.7 million units in its first month. The PlayStation 5 sold around 4.5 million in its first month. The Switch 2 has sold 3.5 million in its first 4 days. So potentially it'll surpass the PlayStation 5 by the time it hits that the full month-long mark. Insane. As I was saying to someone else at work today, who was saying, "Oh man, the Switch 2 is getting a lot of negative coverage and all that," because I was playing it on my lunch break and all this stuff. I was like, I think this one's high, try and put stuff in perspective. I'm like, you're watching some YouTubers complaining about it. You're watching some Twitch streamers, content creators you watch complain about it. You're seeing this little hive mind of a couple hundred, maybe 1,000 people, little small community complain about it or whatever. There are 3.5 million people that purchase this thing, and the higher majority of those would be people who do not give a fuck about any of these. Like they're just normal people, right? Just
they're people who have exclusively played the Switch.
For their,
and are finally getting.
Yeah, they're like, I love the Nintendo Switch. This is the best thing ever, and they happily upgrade. So it has been interesting to see people be like, man, this console's doing terribly. Let's reconsider the word terribly.
Yeah. Even then, I have even with a couple of things I mentioned that were down points for it, I have one major gripe that was the same major gripe I had with the Nintendo Switch. I really like the dock, really nice this time. It's nice, it's got a little fin, it's a nice little unit. Once again, I did the same thing I think I did when the Switch 1 came out. I quickly had to flick online to see, okay, can I order a second one? $180. Mm-hmm. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, it would be very nice.
Doing a lot of processing, right? We assume the dock unlocks the 4K and that kind of stuff, so.
It doesn't just, it's not like a HDMI.
Yes, it's not a HDMI jack. Yeah, no, I understand that. But I was like, oh, fuck, right. But I will probably end up, because it would be nice to have a dock at my PC. As well as at my...
I would like a second dock at some stage too. So I can bring it up here and stuff like that as well. So yes, I agree. Yeah, I mean, Ash, do you have any thoughts on the 3.5? Do you think what's that make you think when, in a world where people at the
I think there's a lot of suckers and people who need stuff straight away. But it's unsurprising because it's been so long since they've done a Nintendo launch, because at least prior to the Switch, there would be like a new Game Boy Advance or 3DS or something like in between that would kind of get people's interest. But it's been so long, and now this is version it's not PS5 quality, but I mean it's closer than it's ever been to the current gen.
I mean, I haven't played Cyberpunk on it, but from every article I've read, people are very impressed with Cyberpunk running on the console. Obviously, it's nowhere near as good as playing it on a high-end PC or whatever, but I mean, even Digital Foundry was saying it was quite good. So
yeah, I mean, it's the closest they've come to current gen in generations.
Yeah, it's. I found it quite fun because even obviously we would talk about how you'd see these stories coming out of America where they sold out and people couldn't get it and all that. Sort of stuff.
They sent out sold out signs before they launched in preparation,
and then here people were, we were like, oh, it's easy to get. And I even saw in the lead up to launch week, I saw EB Games was like, sold out, oh, our second shipment's been moved forward or something. And some of the comments was like, I think they're trying to like oversell the like the like conspiracy hats.
It also could be a case that Nintendo properly stocked this one. Is this helping?
Yeah.
Well, it's also a thing of because of we probably got it because of the tariffs. We probably got a decent allocation.
Yes,
because of the tariffs in America, that probably reduced the amount of consoles they wanted to send to America. So they've just set them elsewhere that isn't going to get, those extra kind of tariffs placed upon them. Like it was really nice, even though JB was telling me, "Oh, June 16th is probably when I was going to get mine." Literally, like the moment it could, they sent me one. Like the moment the stores opened again on the Tuesday after public holiday, it was like, here you go, straight away. And like Buddy had thought that would probably be the case. He could see there was a couple units here or there. Like, yeah, it's 100%. We have good stock for them.
Yeah, so I'm going to be really interested to see how those first numbers come in at the end of the month.
Oh, another super minor thing about the Switch. I feel like I'm going to fucking drop the thing every time I try. Like the couple times I've unclicked the Joy-Cons from it, I feel like I'm going to drop it.
Have you used the mouse yet?
No, not yet. I haven't had. No.
Do you want to test it? Because you can use it in the main menu.
Can you? Okay, let me do it right now.
Just do a live reaction. If you want to live clip one, you can use it on the main menu if you sit that bad boy face down.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, we hear the clicking. Hear the noise.
He's like, oh my god, I'm at home.
Yeah.
This is how games are meant to be played.
Yeah, how's that feel, PC gamer?
Does it fit? That actually doesn't feel bad. Like that actually doesn't feel terrible. Like the more you should.
Yeah, it doesn't, does it? It doesn't.
No.
It's surprising, isn't it? I mean, the form factor is the main.
Yeah, it's a little bit small, but
Yeah, but yeah, it's surprisingly good. So now imagine that, which is pretty good control. Like it does work when you're playing like Metroid or whatever, first person shooter.
So I'm just gonna make myself online, guys. Just be 2 seconds.
You send Lord a friend code.
No, I've got him fucking online. I've got him on my bloody account. That's why I would have been like, I would have noticed because I'm doing that thing now. If I see people online on the Switch, I'm just highly intrigued to see what people are mostly playing at the moment.
That's what there was one point where it was like it switched me like online and you were online. I was like, and
it won't pop up in my top right hand corner unless you like boot a game up. So it doesn't pop up and say so and so's online, but if you start playing something, it pops up and says what you start playing.
Yeah.
So, very interesting. I will say I'm overall still very positive on the console as we head into its second week, I guess. Probably try and get a review towards the back end of this week. I know there's a few places already got theirs out. I just didn't want to
rush it.
I felt absolutely no need to rush that. Especially in a world where I'm like, I want to give enough time in both docked and handheld. So I've been taking it to work the last 3 days and just giving it my playing it in handheld a lot, which is good because I've started to realize how much better the speakers are on this. I think the overall sound quality is a lot better in handheld mode than the original Switch. So yeah, keep noticing little improvements here and there, little improvements all over the place, which is good to see. And then there's other things I still want to play. Like I only just installed the Zelda thing myself, so I want to play that, and that is 120 in handheld. So yeah,
very nice.
Yeah,
very good,
exciting. Another thing that non-Switch, we'll move on for the Switch, is the only other main news story that happened this week. Oh, hold on. No, quickly, before I move on. Do you think, bets now, yay or nay? So there's a Pokemon event first week of July, I think. Are we getting a Switch 2 exclusive Pokemon game announced?
No.
No.
They're just full focus on.
They're just getting that Tsar out. That Tsar.
Legends.
Tsar.
Yeah, getting that Tsar. They're hitting that Tsar. Yeah.
I will say though, after
I
having
wouldn't be
now
surprised if
seen,
that tease one though.
Yeah, tease one would make sense. Yeah, after having now played and seen how much better Pokemon runs on the Switch 2, it's making me a lot more excited about that game coming out than I was before, knowing that all my graphical and well, not graphical, but like performance issues are going to be figured
it's going
out.
to run fine. It may not look as
It's
pretty
going
as
to run
it looks
fine.
good.
Yeah, it may not. It's still developed for the Switch 1, obviously.
Yeah.
But I mean, the thing is, even with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, like that's what I'm saying. Same art style, same like thing as the Switch 1, but having even more Pokemon in the background when you're roaming around the fields and not having them pop in and out like fucking glitches consistently, it does make it technically isn't looking better because it's looking the same, but because it's not like as ugly, like because it's running smoother, it makes it feel like it looks better. So the only other big thing that was announced this week is that Konami announced that Silent Hill 1 is getting a remake from Bloober Team. Ciaran, would you have any excitement for this?
No
nostalgia.
Not really. Like it's not. I think, of course, for me, it was either. I feel like you're either a Resident Evil person or a Silent Hill person, and I was very much heavily in the Resident Evil camp. It's just always been the case for me.
That's fair. Do you think it's weird they did 2 first and then, because that was successful, decided to go back?
No, 2's the bigger one.
Is it though?
2's massive. Like it's the same as they've Resident Evil remake for the 2. They've never remade the first Resident Evil.
True. Oh, well, there's a rumor they are. So.
Or they should go back. If Resident Evil, if you go back and make 0, that
they did a HD version though.
They did a HD version, but they didn't do the remake.
Yeah, true.
They didn't do the nice version. They started at 2, and then they did that weird one at 3, which was like it's a halfway point, and then 4. Yeah, no. If they could, to me, I'd go hard if they either do Code Veronica or 0. Would both be pretty hype for Resident Evil remakes. Would be very hype for me.
And I haven't played enough of this to really want to speak it a lot because it took forever to download last time. But I did play one match of the Gears of War thing, and I want to try and play some more after we're done recording now, the beta. All I'm going to say is it is very weird to play a Gears of War game on PlayStation. You're
telling me you finally know that I have a Nintendo Switch 2 and you're going to play a Gears of War beta instead of Mario Kart.
The beta ends tonight, bro.
Motherfucker.
Isn't it another weekend?
You could have downloaded the beta too, Ciaran. Why didn't you download the beta? There's 2 betas. They've got different modes on.
Oh, what's the modes for this one?
Hold on. I'll tell you in 2 seconds. Fun thing. Well, but yeah, maybe you should. If you got, I think you get access to beta as long as you got Xbox PC Game Pass. So, but yeah, playing it on PlayStation, it's just like seeing Gears of War when you're holding a dual sense in your hand. It just feels weird. So this weekend, Multiplayer Beacon 1 features a social multiplayer experience in the classic team deathmatch modes across 3 maps, including the fan favorite Gridlock as well as Raven Down and Gold Rush. Weekend 2 is Multiplayer Beacon 2 adds the competitive King of the Hill mode with the map Canals added to the mix along with Maps Courtyard War Machine for use. Yeah, there you go. So that's cool. I did play the Tony Hawk demo too, the 3+4 one that they put out, and I was like, yeah, this is Tony Hawk. Cool. And the biggest fucking FU thing that they do is they put 2 skaters in the demo, and you think you have access to Doomslayer to tie him. He's in the character menu, one of 3 characters there. You click on him, it tries to make you buy the game. They just put him there to make people go, you can get access to him if you pre-order the game. I'm like, that's fucking just don't do that. And then I just wanted to, before we wrap up for today, the only other thing I was going to mention, because I found it quite funny, when I went back early in this week to write up a single news piece story about the Plague Tale prequel thing. So the thing, because none of us have played these fucking games and have no context, that character is in the second game, is the context we missed.
That would make sense.
Just add a little bit of
very cool.
Recap to that.
Okay.
So, yeah. That is a younger version of a main character, not the main two girls, obviously. Well, the main characters, whatever, the girl and the kid. But it is a main character from Plague Tale Requiem, whatever the fuck it was called. Yeah. So there you go. There's a little bit more context about that game that none of us played. All right, that'll do it for this week's episode of Arcade Couch. Let us know how you feel about Ciaran completely fucking us on social media at Explosion network.com or Blue Sky at Explosion Pod.
You could have worded that so much better than
No.
And yet,
the graphic image of me completely fucking you.
That's a choice that people like. Whatever helps you sleep at night, you know. Then I forgot what I was saying. Anyway, yeah, check out explosion.com for all the news, reviews, previews, fun things. Upcoming Switch 2 review when I get to that. And yeah, have a great week, everyone. I hope no friends gaslight you for a week because you know it's just life lessons. You know what I'm saying?
Need some therapy.
We need dual therapy. So there we go. All right, bye.
Also, between the cushions fans, Dylan probably drank a bit out of that Pepsi Max can. Was it? Did it? Who knows?
I know.